welcome back to Little Ray's Nature Center. Here I'm Kyle, the keeper from Meet the Keepers and Little Ray's Nature Center. Just wanted to introduce you to a few more of our little critters here. So, we are in our aviary. And down here, we have a few different little parrots for us to meet. So we actually have Kiva, which is just down here. This is our African gray parrot. We have Pretty Bird, who's right behind me here, kind of running around. She'll hop up and climb up there in a minute. But that is our little umbrella cockatoo named Pretty Bird. We have Mr. Eeyore over here. And Mr. Eeyore is our Moroccan cockatoo, coming to say hi. And we have Kiva. Now Kiva is just up top here, another African gray parrot with our aviary right in here. Now, here's the interesting thing about these parrots. If you have been to the Nature Center, if you've come in for a tour, you have definitely met these parrots and you probably remember them the most. If you have watched a live video of Little Ray's Nature Center, you have most likely heard these guys. They tend to be quite attention seeking. They love attention, they love to get attention, they love to seek attention, and by doing that they will actually tend to let off these quite loud noises, and that's just them trying to get attention, wanting for you to come and say hi. And we'll see if one of them wants to come say hi now. You want to step up? You want to step up? Come on. No, it's okay. Come on. That's it. So as you can see, they're actually quite gentle. Right now, the African gray parrot and the umbrella cockatoo back there are actually endangered in the wild right now. These guys, you'll find them in and around Congo, Cameroon. They've actually been pretty much eradicated. They haven't found numbers that often in Ghana at the moment. Cameroon, they tend to be settled, but these guys are found in Africa, and this is our African gray parrot. Now they are very, very, very intelligent parrots. I was actually reading a story about them where a man had lost his parrot, and what had happened was he had lost his parrot and they managed to get him back because the parrot would just constantly yell the person's name and their address. They managed to find his way home, and that is how he got his African gray parrot back. So they are very, very intelligent, and as much as they do repeat, just like a human would repeat, they do learn words and they can associate words. And so they'll associate words, they can say good morning, they'll ask us how we're doing. They are an incredible species of parrot. And we'll put Yaka right up here. Atta boy. And then Pretty Bird is running around. Now Pretty Bird, you'll notice, she actually has quite a bit of feathers missing. And that is not uncommon, but that does require a lot of work, and they do require a lot of work, and because they want so much attention, if they don't get that attention, they tend to get a little stressed. And that's what happened with Pretty Bird here at her old home. She was very well loved, however the person just didn't have the time, and so she lived with a dog for most of her life, and that's why she tends to bark like a dog quite a bit. But she was just feeling a little lonely, and then that's how we ended up with Pretty Bird here. Is just somebody had realized that they just didn't have the time for them. And that's the thing, they require a ton of time, a ton of work. And in the wild, because they are endangered and vulnerable, right, there's a couple of reasons for that in the wild. One of the main reasons is loss of habitat. So when you look at the Moroccan cockatoo and the umbrella cockatoo, you'll find them in Indonesia, in different parts of Indonesia, and with the loss of habitat, it's become quite an issue. The other problem with them is that sometimes they are worth quite a bit of money, and so people will illegally trap them and bring them into countries and try and sell them for a profit, which is of course not ideal for them. They do belong in the wild. Now having them as a pet, I'm a little torn, because here we don't want to tell people that's a bad pet, that's a good pet, because it depends what you're looking for, it depends what you want, it depends what you have. With these guys, they require so much attention. You're looking at about a 40 to 60 year lifespan for them, and they are loud. Again, they are attention seeking, they love attention, they will try and gauge that attention, they'll try and get it as much as they possibly can, and they will do everything they can to get that attention. And we'll go see a Pretty Bird here. There she is, she's climbing up, dancing away with Kiva back here. Now, again, they love attention. A lot of people want birds and parrots as pets, and you'll see Eeyore wants to come say hi to James here. So these guys here do require a lot of attention. However, when you talk to people who have birds and parrots as pets, they tend to be the first ones to tell you not to get a parrot as a pet, right? So it's, again, do your research. If you decide to look into getting one, make sure to do your research. Know that you are committing to these animals for 40 to 60 years. It's a huge, huge commitment. So just make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. Now, again, because we're in here with them, we're giving them attention. We are around, they're not screaming. However, if we're just one aisle over cleaning somebody or working with another animal, they will yell. And again, if you watch pretty much any one of our live videos, you will most likely hear them in the background. So they tend to give off quite the sound. It is very high pitched, but you just have to be a little prepared for that. Now in here, of course, we do have the 2 African gray parrots, the 2 cockatoos, but there is actually 21 different types of cockatoos in the world, right? If I'm looking at it for noise, right, the African grays tend to be much, much calmer, much easier to deal with. When it comes to the cockatoos, they tend to bond with one person. They also tend to be bonding with one gender as well. So we found that our cockatoos tend to be more close with the females that are here. So with Jenny and Natalie, they tend to be very close. And with us, they kind of just tolerate us. And it's just how they bond, right? So that's why, again, very, very important to make sure to do your research, to know what you're getting yourself into. And that is definitely the most important knowledge that I can give, the most important information I can give, is make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. Right? Now, they do love to dance. I won't sing for them, but we do have kids come over, and when we are not in lockdown, we have kids come over for the tours. And again, if you guys have come and seen them dance, especially Pretty Bird, she goes absolutely wild when she gets to dance in front of kids, and then the kids dance with her. It is so enjoyable to see. So make sure to come in for a tour and get a chance to dance with Pretty Bird. Now, she does kind of make you work for it, but when you finally do get her to dance, it is incredible to see. It's such a fun sight. Now, when it comes to these animals in the wild, right? So like I said, you'll find the African gray parrots in different countries in Africa. But when it comes to the cockatoos, especially, it was the Malaccan cockatoo. That is Eeyore right over here. I'm going to say hi. He might nibble on James's shoes, which I hope he does, because that would be super entertaining for you guys. He just loves to play. He might come nibble on my toes too, and we'll deal with that when it happens. But these guys here have actually been introduced on the islands, on different islands in Hawaii, as a way of trying to get their numbers back up, because they are vulnerable in the wild in Indonesia. They've introduced them into islands in Hawaii, and they've actually been found in Puerto Rico as well, in different parts of Central and South America, not because they were introduced, but simply because we believe people have pets, and when they get either fed up or they realize it's too much work, they will actually just release their pets into the wild, which is something you cannot do, you should not do. And that's why you always try and find the appropriate rescue centers that can take in these animals. And if you do decide to get an animal and you don't want to take care of it or can't take care of it for whatever reason, make sure to contact a local rescue center and do not try and release them back into the wild. That is not okay for these animals, right? Now, I'll say a little worried, because Eeyore does tend to come and try and see me a little closer, so if that does happen again, we will deal with it, but just be prepared for that possibly to happen. And again, Pretty Bird here, such a sweetheart. A little shy on some days, and then other days she'll come and cuddle, and she'll say her own name and cuddle with you, and you get to rub her head. So she's an absolute sweetheart. They all are, and that's why it is very, very typical for people to want them as pets. Just again, make sure to do your research. It is so important. I cannot stress that enough. Make sure to do your research for these animals. Now, with that being said, was there any questions, James? Was there anything coming in? Did anybody have any questions regarding these animals, these beautiful parrots in our aviary? Nothing yet? Perfect. All right. So, what I want to do is I want you guys to see Eeyore one more time, and then we are going to basically hop out of here before Eeyore decides to come see us. There he is. You can see they just have so much personality. They have so much personality. They actually have their own little attitudes, their own little ways of doing everything. So, with that being said, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in here today. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, we have Eeyore down here. We have Pretty Bird with her crest all up right now. Look at that. They can stick their crest up when they get excited. And we have Yaka and Kiva back there. But again, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day, everyone. And Happy New Year.